Hello and welcome to the Crimewatch Roadshow. For the whole of June, we're live from all around the country. We're bringing Crimewatch to you.
Our mission over this month is to tackle the crime happening right under our noses. Burglary, vandalism, mugging, shoplifting, arson, you name it, we're going to try and solve it. Wherever you live, chances are you might be able to help.
All this week, we've been in the northwest of England and we've had a fantastic response.
We have, yes, on the case of the riding school for disabled children in Bolton. You remember, this is the one which was ransacked for specialist riding gear. We had several reports of similar thefts. Those came through from Immingham, Taunton and Burswick.
Also this morning, Dave Guest is live for us in Manchester. Dave.
Morning, Sophie and Rav. Yes, welcome to the roof of the BBC here in Manchester. Well, Friday night's fast approaching, always a busy night for the cops. And on one Friday recently, I went out on patrol with the police here looking for antisocial behaviour. It was quite a night, as you'll see later.
But first, picture the scene. You're having a nice pint on Easter weekend when two men rock up on motorbikes, and this is no pizza delivery. Instead, the men have a very loud message to send out.
It's Thursday, April the 9th. Two men are riding up this quiet street in Salford. They seem interested in the Church Inn pub, but not interested enough to stop for a drink. Instead, they just ride off. Just a day out on a motorbike. Or is it? The next day. It's Good Friday. Time to relax ahead of the bank holiday weekend. Debbie Wares is the licensee of the Church Inn pub. Since taking it over a year ago, she's worked hard to build it up for the community.
When I first took over, a mess. It was just a mess and wasn't very busy. But we did build it up and got it busy. And now it's lovely. I am proud of the place, proud of what we've done to the place. And a lot of the customers are proud of it as well. It's been turned around.
It's 1 p.m. and outside the boys on the bike are back. This CCTV footage clearly shows the two men parking up outside the pub and making their way towards the entrance. Somebody who was in the pub that day talks us through what happened.
I went to the bar and ordered a pint. On getting my pint, I went and sat down on the chairs and tables directly opposite the bar. I spent the next couple of hours just talking and drinking with my friends. I saw two people enter the pub. Both appeared to be wearing biking clothes and both were wearing gloves. It was all dark clothing. They both had motorcycle helmets on. Both people walk towards the bar and the first person pulls a gun out.
The two men can be seen in this CCTV footage from inside the bar. Look in the top left-hand corner. They enter and stand just behind the pillar.
The gun looked like a revolver. It was black in colour with a barrel of about 4 inches in length. The person pointed the gun towards the bar area.
Later, we'll be speaking to the officer in charge of that case, DC David Hayes, to get to the bottom of what those men on a motorbike were up to.
Remember, we're here all morning, so if you can help, call us 08000 468 999 or you can text us on 63399, type CW, space, and then type your message. Also coming up, the kids creating havoc for residents in Radcliffe in Greater Manchester.
OK, what's your name?
A nightmare, really. You know, you've got these teenagers who are causing everybody's life for hell. You know, it's a living hell with these teenagers, and it's time, you know, we got rid of them.
They've took the bait and we can't get any more now because the shop.
So this is why, come on, stop walking, please.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give my bait to somebody else, am I?
And the 19-year-old stabbed in the back for his wallet.
Initially, the first thing going through my head was, oh, this is bad, and am I going to survive?
Also this morning, the last steps of 54-year-old Moira, who was killed by a motorist. For her daughter's sake, can you help catch the person behind the wheel? Let's hope we can get a result today.
And we're hoping you recognise some of this lot. All wanted in the northwest. They could be hiding near you.
If you see anything this morning you can help with, pick up the phone. The number is on the screen, 08000 468 999. Right now, though, Rav has got your daily dose of criminals caught on camera.
Who's this bloke with a hoodie prowling around this underground car park in southeast London? He's not offering a hand car wash service, that's for sure. He walks up to this black car and smashes the window. You can see the alarm lights flashing, but he doesn't run away. Instead, he leans in and rummages around. He eventually walks away, only to return several times, poking his head through the broken glass. What's he up to? On the last visit, he lights some paper and sets the car on fire. Within seconds, it's well and truly alight. Who is he? We need a name. This man and his partner enter PC World separately on the Old Kent Road, London. They hang out around the till area looking at goods, waiting for staff to become preoccupied with other customers. While the woman acts as lookout, texting on her mobile phone, the man pops behind the till and helps himself. Not very PC. Take another look at their faces. Do they compute? Let's have some names. This is Mothercare on Rye Lane, London, and this bloke is quick off the mark. Don't blink or you'll miss him. He walks in, grabs a box and walks out. It's that quick, I'll show it again. Here he is. Gone. What's his name? November last year, and this pack are on the hunt at a BP garage in Loxbottom, Kent. Having browsed the aisles and helped themselves to bits and pieces, what follows can only be described as a meat-nicking frenzy. They jostle for space to put packets of meat up their jumpers. You couldn't make it up, could you? As they try and outdo each other with packets of rump and drumsticks. Take a butcher's at their faces.
Unbelievable. Do you recognise anyone? Call us on 08000 468 999 or you can text us on 63399. Just type CW space and then your message. And if you want a second lick, go to our website, which is bbc.co.uk/Crimewatch Roadshow.
Our next case this morning takes us to Levenshume in Manchester and a student who took a shortcut home but ended up on the sharp end of a brutal mugging. 19-year-old Michael is a student on a leadership course run by the local church.
As a person, I felt quite safe. You know, didn't see any problems at that moment in time. I don't have any problems with anybody in this area, barely know people, so I felt quite safe.
On the evening of Sunday, the 9th of April, Michael popped to the cash point. Then Michael crossed the Kingsway to check bus times for the following morning. It was there that he first met his attacker.
As I was at the bus stop, an Asian fella came up to me and asked me if I had a light. Didn't have a hood up, he showed me his hands and stuff, and you know, he was very calm, collected, very polite, very well-mannered and friendly.
As Michael left the bus stop, he was unaware that he was being followed.
Walked back across the road towards the alleyway. It was a normal route I take, so I believe it's a shortcut into my house. And as I was walking down the alleyway with my head down in my own little world, a guy approached me. I felt a sharp blow in my back. I thought I'd just been punched in the back. Turned around and there was a guy stood there with a knife asking for my phone and my money. The attacker down the alleyway was very nervous, as if it was the first time he'd done it. He was hunched over and his lips were stammering. His voice was quite shaky, sort of very afraid to be what he was doing.
At this point, Michael still believed the man had only punched him.
When I went to bend down to pick my wallet up, I felt that pain again in my back and then quickly picked my stuff up and ran off because I couldn't deal with the pain. Got home and later realised what had happened. I ran as fast as I could home, got in the door, slammed the door shut, locked it in, put the chain on, felt a bit more at ease that I was now in a safe place.
His flatmate Michael Tucker heard the commotion.
I just heard a massive bang on the door. It had been opened and Mikey shouted he'd been mugged. So I immediately got up because I'm kind of like, whoa, you know, what's happened here?
I says, oh, I've just been mugged, and my back was really sore. I felt I'd been punched.
So I lifted up his shirt and I saw a stab wound, and I was kind of shocked myself. I'd never seen anything like that before. I
immediately went into shock. I lost my head, I went dizzy straight away, just clung to the nearest thing to me, which was the fridge. Just felt like as if I wasn't even on the ground, as if I was floating. I felt panicked that what if something serious was going on with me, because you only ever hear really of bad stories happening with stabbings, that someone's died or something like that. So initially the first thing going through my head was, oh, this is bad, and am I going to survive?
Michael had suffered a knife wound to his lower back, which was 3.5 inches deep and 2 inches wide.
I was off my feet completely for 2 weeks. For the first week I was completely helped out of bed, standing up. I was just constantly having painkillers and penicillin.
DC Matt Smith, who is leading the case, was shocked by the brutality of the unprovoked attack.
It was here that the robbery actually took place. Following the robbery, Michael saw the offender make his way back out along the alleyway to the Kingsway, and then Michael himself began to run in the opposite direction and made his way through the alleyway, which comes out towards Edenhall Avenue and Monica Grove.
Unusually, the attacker started on Michael before demanding anything.
It was serious. It was a lot of violence had been used, and very quickly. It's normal with robberies that violence will be threatened in the first instance, and normally that's sufficient for a robbery to take place.
The knife still hasn't been recovered.
The weapon's been described as a large kitchen knife with a wooden handle, dark-coloured, and a blade of about 6 to 7 inches.
The traumatic attack has had a profound impact on Michael.
I've got a new appreciation for life and a new appreciation for different things that have happened because something drastic's happened in my world. Got a deeper love for my family, really, because they were looking after me all the time. I just feel, you know, how else would you feel after you've been attacked and stabbed? You get over it, you know, life goes on. And that's the best thing that I can do, is let life go on.
And DC Matt Smith joins us now. Good morning, Matt. Is this kind of vicious street robbery common?
No, it's not. This was a particularly violent and unprovoked attack. This person that's attacked Michael is very dangerous, and we need to catch him, or we need to put him behind bars.
And how is Mike now? We've seen the severity of the attack.
Michael's a decent lad. He didn't deserve this to happen to him. He is making a recovery, but obviously this will have an effect on him for some time to come.
Now, it's worth noting, Michael was wearing this distinctive yellow hat at the time. Now, that may jog a few people's memories. If they've seen him out and about with that yellow hat, they may have seen someone acting suspiciously behind him. There, that's it. We can see it there now.
That's right. Michael was wearing this hat the night that this took place. It may be that people recognise the hat that Michael was wearing. It is very distinctive.
Now, you do have a pretty good description of this guy and an e-fit, haven't you?
Yes, Michael's completed an e-fit. Also describes his attacker as an Asian male, 5'7" to 5'9", 25 to 30 years of age, slim with very defined jawline and very slim cheekbones. He also said that the male spoke with an Asian accent.
And very quickly, distinctive cigarettes as well, the offender was believed to be smoking.
Yes, we're trying to identify these. It's a red packet of cigarettes with a half moon emblem on and a green tree in the middle of it. We're trying to find out if anybody recognised that packet or knows where it originates from. OK,
Matt, thank you for joining us.
That was a particularly violent attack, wasn't it? But when you were working as a police officer, you must have come across similar kind of things.
We did, yeah, unfortunately, but a lot of attacks seem to be opportunist, and it's when people are walking around with phones out or MP3 players.
Which people do all the time.
They do, but it's kind of, that's what attracts the criminals, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now, we have more tips on personal safety on our website, bbc.co.uk/Crimewatch Roadshow. Right now, though, some of our most wanted faces. Can you help? Do you recognise this man? Greater Manchester Police want to talk to him in connection with a burglary back in February. A number of items and cash were stolen and taken away in the victim's suitcase. If you know who he is, call this morning. What about this one? Who is this? Police need to talk to him in connection with an attempted robbery in Denton. Keys to a Porsche Cayenne were demanded at knife point, and police believe this man can help them with their inquiries. Lancashire Police would really like to know where this man is. He is 29-year-old John Astle, and back in February was due to be charged with robbing cash from a van. The guard in this case was also attacked with a machete. Let us know if you know where he's hiding. And number 4, police would like to talk to this man, Morgan McCunney, in relation to a burglary in Droylsden back in January. Someone watching will know where he is. If you know where they're hiding, call or text the numbers on the screen now. Or if you want to remain anonymous, call the independent charity Crime Stoppers. Let me give you their number. It's 0800 555 111. Still to come, the drastic measures one man has taken to protect his property. He has installed his own CCTV.
We're basically seeing these jobs tormenting me, trying to get me to come out of the house to confront them. They've been making a noise all night, and eventually when they start invading my property, you have to go out and somehow defend it.
And the moment Moira Hagman was struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver. She died 2 days later. We have the CCTV, and we're hoping you have a name. Her daughter Annalie is here to appeal for your help. Now, back to the pub locals who were left terrorised by gunmen on a bank holiday weekend.
It was Good Friday at the Church Inn pub in Salford. It's a pub that landlady Debbie Wares is very proud of.
I am proud of the place, proud of what we've done to the place, and a lot of the customers are proud of it as well.
This CCTV footage from outside the pub shows the arrival of 2 men on a motorbike. Somebody who was in the pub describes what happened that day.
I went to the bar and ordered a pint. On getting my pint, I went and sat down on the chairs and tables directly opposite the bar. I spent the next couple of hours just talking and drinking with my friends. I saw 2 people enter the pub. Both appeared to be wearing biking clothes and both were wearing gloves. It was all dark clothing. They both had motorcycle helmets on. Both people walked towards the bar and the first person pulls a gun out. The gun looked like a revolver. It was black in colour with a barrel of about 4 inches in length.
I was upstairs on the computer. I was on my bingo.
The person pointed the gun towards the bar area. I then heard the sound of the gun being fired.
I just heard 2 bangs. And for some reason I knew it was a gun. I'd been shot.
Straight away, Debbie dialed 999.
Police emergency.
There's just been 2 shots fired. I've heard it myself, I've just gone down.
And what's going on outside?
There's nobody outside because they're on a motorbike.
Can I just confirm that nobody's been shot?
Oh, nobody's been shot now.
Okay.
Having fired 2 shots in the crowded pub, the gunmen are on their way. The police are appealing for help in finding them.
There's 2 things I think that the public can help me with in this investigation. One being the Honda Hornet motorcycle, blue in colour. The second one is the distinctive motorcycle helmet that the pillion passenger was wearing when he committed this offence. You'll see from the CCTV footage, it had distinctive white stripes running around the rear and on the top. The fact that no one was injured as a result of the 2 shots being fired is a miracle, and thankfully this type of crime is very rare in Salford.
I'm still scared now. Every time from upstairs I hear a bang, like just someone knocked a chair over by accident or a door shutting, banging. It just brings it all back.
To catch these 2 people and convict them and put them behind bars where I feel they belong is my #1 priority.
It'd mean everything to me if they caught the people that done it. Because they can't go around doing what they've done to innocent people that have not done anything wrong. They need catching the people that's done it.
These 2 men are obviously extremely dangerous. Who knows what they'll do next? Can you help put them behind bars?
Well, DC David Hayes is live with us now. Good morning. A miracle that nobody was hurt there. When the men walked in, they shouted, "This is a warning." Do you know why?
No, that's one of the things we're asking the members of the public to come forward with. We don't know if the warning was aimed at the premises, the management and staff, or indeed an individual that was drinking in there at the time.
But the problem is, a lot of people seem to be too frightened to talk about this.
Well, obviously because of the nature of the incident, they are quite scared. However, I do plead with them to come forward, call yourselves or Crime Stoppers anonymously with any information that can track these two down.
We saw the CCTV. What can you tell us about these offenders?
Well, from the demeanour, they both appear to be males. They were both wearing dark clothing and bicycle helmets. One helmet is quite distinctive. It's got a white stripe across the back, and on further analysis of the CCTV, it appears to have a white stripe from front to back as well.
And what about the motorbike we saw being driven away?
Yes, we believe that is a blue Honda Hornet, a 600cc, and it's a T registration. So if anybody knows of that vehicle in the area, they should give yourselves a call.
Has anything like this ever happened in the area before?
They are few and far between. The crimes of this nature are on the decline. There's nothing to suggest that this is linked to any other incident.
But, I mean, you must, having seen what happened, you must really think that it is extraordinary that nobody was hurt.
Yes, it's really more luck than anything that nobody else was injured.
DC David Hayes, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, if you know anything, please do call next time someone could get killed. The numbers are on the screen. Or you can also call Greater Manchester Police on 0161 872 5050. Or you can text us on 63399, type CW space and then your message. And don't forget to leave the space or your message just will not get through to us.
Now, here's another chance to see some crims caught on camera.
In May last year, Lee Aaron Sood and an unknown accomplice pulled up outside the Walkabout bar in Rugby. The bar was closed and people were asleep upstairs. Sood and a friend scatter flammable liquid and the bar goes up in flames. These guys are no bright sparks. As they make a run for it, they're on fire. But this doesn't stop them jumping into the getaway car. Clever boys. They then have to make a stop up the road to put themselves out. Sood was found guilty earlier this year and given 4 years for his trouble, but the police are anxious to find his mate. He would have suffered burns and is probably scarred for life. All we need is a name. Next, we're after this bloke in the baseball cap. He enters the Ghost clothing shop in Upper Street, London. It's full of women's clothing, so he leaves. Outside, he attempts to catch a bus, but thinks better of it. He loiters around for a bit before returning to the store. In a flash, he clears a rail of little black dresses. None of them is going to fit him, so what's his game? If you've seen him, all those little black numbers, call our number. Last summer at Tesco's Surrey Quays, and this man has finished his shopping. He queues politely and waits his turn, resting his basket on the side. Unfortunately, it falls off and he doesn't like it. He takes it out on the shopper in front, knocking him to the ground. Who is this basket case? He's wearing a black and white top, has short blonde hair and blue jogging bottoms. If you think you know who he is, please call.
Yes, if you do recognise someone, please call us. The numbers are on the screen now. If you want another look, go to our website, bbc.co.uk/Crimewatch Roadshow.
Thanks for all your calls. They really do make a difference. On the case of the riding school I was at yesterday, the one for disabled children in Bolton that was burgled 3 times, remember, for that specialist riding gear, we've had several reports of similar thefts, and those came through from Immingham in Lincolnshire, Taunton in Somerset and Burswick in Hull.
Also reports of saddles like those being sold at a car boot sale in Oakington in Cambridge and at Pedlam Place car boot sale in Kent.
Still to come, Dave Guest spends the night on antisocial behaviour patrol.
Yes, Rav, I'm joined up here on the roof of the BBC in Manchester with the residents of Radcliffe. Radcliffe's a small town just outside the city centre, and these folk have been plagued by antisocial behaviour. One of them so fed up he's even gone to the extreme of installing his own CCTV surveillance. We've got the footage, you can see it later.
Next, though, the terrible case of 54-year-old Moira Hagman. She was killed by a hit-and-run driver in North London last November. Her daughter, Anneli, has flown from Sweden, where she lives, to be here to help police with their appeal. The moment that the car hit Moira was caught on CCTV, and police are hoping that by showing this footage to you, someone will come forward with vital information. I just want to stress that Moira's family really want this shown to help find the driver. Some of you may find these pictures upsetting though. Now, it's a very dark night, a busy road, 10:45 at night, and you can see Moira circled there in the left-hand corner of the screen as she starts to cross the road. And she is hit. Now, Annalie, I don't actually know how you did that. You've not seen that before, have you? You didn't want to see that. Your mother was not killed on impact, was she?
No, she was declared dead 2 days later on the hospital.
And, I mean, she was clearly crossing a very busy road, wasn't she? Wet and dark at night. Very difficult for you to watch those. Tell us what you know about the case.
Well, we know it was the 27th of November. It was around about 11:15 at night. Moira was walking across the road using a pedestrian crossing.
And this is where?
This was in Lordship Lane. The lights were green for traffic. As Moira is almost across the road, she's struck by the vehicle that's oncoming, predominantly by the wing mirror.
I mean, it looks like the car didn't see her, doesn't it?
Yes, sadly, I don't think either of them saw each other till it's too late.
What do we know about the car, though?
Right, from a wing mirror, which was left at the scene, we're able to say it was a BMW, and from witnesses as well that it's a silver BMW, compact, registered between 2000 and 2001 on a Y prefix. The other thing that is of interest to us is the silver casing that goes on the wing mirror. This would have been broken during the impact, and this would have been replaced, as was the mirror.
But there were, I mean, you can see in the CCTV footage, plenty of witnesses to it, weren't there? But the car just...
It drove off, failed to stop, and no one was able to get the registration number.
It must be, Annie, so difficult for your family to try and sort of move on from all this, if that's at all possible.
If it's true that it was an accident, they didn't see each other, in our world, you stop and look what happened. The thing that he drove away is the hardest thing to accept.
Even if it was an accident.
Even if it was an accident, yes.
You want to make an appeal, don't you? You want to. So what do you want to say?
I want to make sure that anyone who knows anything, please give the police some answers so we can get the person who did this behind bars.
Just remind us exactly where this was and what date it happened.
It was the 27th of November, and it was Lordship Lane in North London when it happened around about 11:15 at night.
OK, so anybody who has got any information at all, it's very, very important for you and your family, isn't it, to find out what happened to your mother. Well, thank you very much for coming all this way from Sweden to help the police with their appeal. Thank you both. If you know anything, please do call us. The numbers are on the screen now, or you can also text us 63399, type CW, space, and then your message. And don't forget to leave the space or your message won't get through. Or if you want to remain anonymous, call the independent charity Crime Stoppers. Let me give you their number. It's 0800 555 111.
Now, antisocial behaviour is a big problem in Radcliffe in Greater Manchester. And Friday nights are usually the worst. Dave Guest went to find out how police try and get the kids on the straight and narrow.
It's Friday night in Radcliffe and PC's Mike Clupsome and Andy Hopwood are about to start the night shift. Local residents have been complaining about gangs of teenagers, and sure enough, it isn't long before we find these two. They're underage and drinking. The police confiscate their alcohol.
We're now going to visit both of the lads' parents. Nothing to worry about, first of all. You OK if we just pop in and have a quick word with you as well? We spoke to his mum then. She was quite receptive, actually. We've spoken to her quite a few times in the past. She's said she's going to call him or go and see where he is. Said he's just left, doesn't know where he got the alcohol from. We've given her the invitation to come and see us on the Tuesday, and we've said that it's an opportunity to show him what else there is to be doing on a Friday night as opposed to just hanging around on the streets.
But what else is there for the kids to do? Hiya Phil, I'm Dave. Hiya. So what have you got going on here then tonight?
This is to get the kids off the streets instead of causing antisocial behaviour on a Friday night.
What would you be doing if you weren't here playing football tonight?
Probably on the streets, drinking or something.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about what they're laying on for you here?
It's good. Gets you out of the streets, doesn't it, and out of trouble.
Do you find it means you've got less to deal with on the streets on a Friday night?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a great number of kids who come here, so that's less for us to have to encounter on the streets.
We return to the patrol. All seems calm.
Yeah, by the usual standards, it's relatively quiet, to be honest. Just gonna have a look round now and have a look at a few of the hot spots and see if there's anybody about.
Police try to find the troublemakers early, before they get drunk, to save further trouble later. But it's gone 9 o'clock and no sign of them. Where are they? In fact, it's gone 10 before we hear anything. And then we get a call. Angry neighbours have complained about a party in a vacant flat.
We understand that the tenant's not here.
Have we got yeah. Have you got your details? So what's happened is we've had a call that there's been a number of views in here. It seems there's been some sort of wild party going on, which might explain why it's been quiet everywhere else. Anywhere up to 50 have been here. As you can see, there's remnants of alcohol everywhere. They're all underage to be drinking.
And the police waste no time in breaking it up, sending the last few stragglers home and confiscating their alcohol.
My friend Emma, well, I came to meet her and then I came in for a drink and then we've been
Put out to this house with that, we'll take it off you anyway.
Why don't?
The minute you step foot over this door, I'm going to take it off you.
Yeah,
so you might as well leave it.
Why though? Because I'm not going to drink it on the streets.
How old are you?
And I'm 18, I'll show you my ID.
I strongly believe that you'll be passing that on to people who are under 18. Just start walking.
Can't believe it. They've took the bait and we can't get any more now because the shop.
So this is why, come on, start walking please.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give my bait to somebody else, am I?
Evidence of smoking cannabis.
With the teenagers gone, I took the opportunity to grab a chat with some of the residents. What was it like for you?
Well, horrendous really. Very horrendous, yeah.
What was going on? Just describe it to me.
Well, a nightmare really. You know, you've got these teenagers who are causing everybody's life for hell. You know, it's a living hell with these teenagers and it's time, you know, we got rid of them.
And Dave is now live with the residents Dot and Bev. Dave, good morning.
That's right, good morning, Rav. Yes, Dot and Bev, you saw them in the film there. Dot, how typical was that of a Friday night where you live?
Very typical just lately. The properties, we've had 3 properties that have been trashed with parties. And that's how it is really on a Friday night.
What do you do? What can you do?
When we get the properties like that, we can get in touch with the housing officer, and then we get in touch with the police, which are very good around our area.
So they do respond if you get in touch?
They do respond.
You've lived on that estate for 40 years. How much has it changed?
It's changed drastically.
For the worse?
It has gone, yes, for the worse, yes.
What about your experience, Bev? I mean, what's your feeling about the way things are going there?
Concern for the tenants and the residents who live on the estate and, you know, what's becoming of the estate. You know, I've seen it go down in the last 5-6 years even worse.
I mean, Dot said about contacting the Housing Association.
Yeah.
Are they helping you when you do that? Are they kicking out tenants who are causing problems?
Yes, they do, but it does take time. But they are working alongside the tenants and they do take them to court and do get eviction orders, but it does take a long time and they do need the tenants' cooperation to fill out the diaries and, you know, to help them, you know.
Dot, you were telling me that you actually have mounted your own patrols as residents to sort of try and stamp down on this antisocial behaviour.
Yeah, what we have set up is a warden patrol is for like these teenagers that are going into these properties.
So you'll go and approach them and try and calm them down?
We don't actually approach them. We just write down the incidents and then we contact the police and just leave it into the police hands. We did have an incident over Christmas which they took furniture from outside some flats and set fire to them.
And you went up to them, tried to stop them?
We did.
OK, well, good on you, ladies. So that's the situation in Radcliffe. Join us again a bit later.
Thanks, Dave. Now, if you're a parent and you're worried about your teenager drinking, check out our website for the top 10 tips for safer drinking. It's www.bbc.co.uk/Crimewatch Roadshow, all one word. Sophie.
Now, do you know any of these faces? This young man is 19-year-old Anton McPherson, who is wanted by police in connection with a burglary in Didsbury in Manchester. Police believed that McPherson committed a second burglary that day in which a blind man's house was burgled. Fortunately, the man was out at the time. Police think he might be in Manchester or London. Have you seen him? Number 6, do you recognise or know this man? He's Stephen McGillivray, and he's wanted for robbing a cash van in Lancaster that was about to refill an ATM machine. As a result, the driver was attacked with a machete. Police would really like to know where he is hiding. Number 7, the police would like to talk to this man, Daniel Townsend. He was charged with having an offensive weapon, but skipped bail in the latter part of last year. If anybody knows where he is, do call us this morning. And number 8, this is Scott Kent. Well, Kent breached a court order placed by Salford Magistrates Court last summer, and the police are looking for him. He was also convicted for robbery back in August 2008. So where is he? If you have any information on any of those faces, do call us. The numbers are on the screen now.
It's been a busy week in the Manchester area. We've got some calls that have come in already, actually on Wednesday's faces, some of the faces we showed on Wednesday. We've obviously passed that on to the police, but it's worth noting that all those faces are going to be on our website, so if you do need another look, it's worth checking them out online.
Also, yet another call on Tony and Barton & Sons, that gardening company. It's con thousands and thousands of pounds out of elderly people. Another sighting of the person who could be behind this. Now, you're probably looking forward to the weekend, but Dave Guest has found one man who won't be. He is so fed up with teenagers behaving badly that he has taken security into his own hands.
It's Friday night and I'm out on antisocial behaviour patrol in Radcliffe. The evening starts off eventfully enough. We catch these underage drinkers and the cops pay a visit to their parents.
Nothing to worry about, first of all. You OK if we just pop in and have a quick word with you as well?
But then it all goes suspiciously quiet. Until angry neighbours complain about this party in a vacant flat.
Stop walking.
Can't believe it. They've took the bait and we can't get any more now because the shop.
So this is why. Come on, stop walking, please.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give my bait to somebody else, am I?
Just describe it to me.
Well, a nightmare really. You know, you've got these teenagers who are causing everybody's life to hell.
But the evening doesn't end there.
Well, we've just had a call come through from a member of the public saying there's 20 youths with bricks on the new estate just on the other side of town. So we're just going to make our way over now and have a look to see what's going on. How many are we talking?
About 20.
And how old are they roughly?
17.
And they've gone up across the field here?
No, up through the break in the...
Right, so far to it, Asprey Street, that kind of way.
I've got them all on CCTV and everything.
We'll go and see if we can find them now.
The kids are long gone, but this CCTV footage captured by one of the residents shows what happened. So, David, what are we seeing here? What's happening?
We're basically seeing these yobs tormenting me. I was trying to get them to come out of the house to confront them. They've been making a noise all night, and eventually when they start invading my property, you have to go out and somehow defend it.
Were you not afraid to do that?
No. The adrenaline gets going, of course it does, but I'll not have these yobs tell me what I can do and what I cannot do on my own property.
It does seem extreme though, putting up CCTV cameras like this.
It's very extreme, but it's the only way we can keep tabs on what's going on with our property when we can't physically see it. We can hear them, and a lot of the neighbours are frightened of coming out because of the verbal abuse that they're getting.
Would you consider moving?
Why should we move? Why should we make them force us out of the house? We love this house. I just wish that it was somewhere else.
It's the end of the night and we return to base. Has that been an average Friday night here?
I wouldn't say it's the usual night. It was quite interesting in that it started off very slow, but then you can see how quickly it can change, really. In 1 minute we were just driving along describing how quiet it was, and the next thing we were right in the middle of something.
So what next?
Well, we'll probably just go and update the intelligence now. It's important to make sure that what we've dealt with tonight, other officers are aware of what's been going on. So we'll update the systems, get the paperwork sorted for that, and then we'll retire and get ourselves off home.
Friday nights in Manchester. It's always going to be busy for the police, Dave, isn't it?
That's right, yes, and it certainly was on that Friday night. Well, David Smith, who you saw in the film, joins me here on the roof now. David, since we visited you a couple of weeks ago, have you had any other problems?
Yes, my car's been vandalised.
In what way?
It's had the badge ripped off it by a bunch of youths going past us.
Did your CCTV capture those?
Oh, yes, very much so, yeah.
So you reported to the police?
We've reported it to the police.
I mean, have you got confidence that the police are actually able to tackle this?
The police are doing the best they can. It's a big area and there's not a lot of them. I think that there's no real deterrent to stop them, to be perfectly honest.
OK, well, Andy Hopwood, you are a beat officer in that area. What are you doing to tackle the problem?
We've been running an initiative over the last month or so, to try and help people like David. And over the same period compared to last year, we've seen over a 40% reduction reported antisocial behaviour.
So you cut it by 40% by just being out there and being visible. But do you not end up just moving the problem from his street to somebody else's street? I mean, that party we broke up, or that you broke up, I should say, those kids, a lot of those went on and caused a problem at David's later.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, antisocial behaviour is a difficult problem to solve. We need the help of the community and the people that live in those communities to report the matters to us. We can identify the offenders and then we can take action against them.
David, do you think by having all that CCTV, you're making yourself a bit of a target? The kids think, let's go and mess about in front of his cameras.
No, they don't. They try to make a wide berth away from the cameras. What they don't realise is just how far out I do cover.
Right, so you have got them even if they think you haven't got them?
Yes, I have, yeah.
OK. Andy, very briefly, I mean, is there an answer to antisocial behaviour? Is it just going to be one of those things that's always there and you're always firefighting it?
As I've said, antisocial behaviour, in order to combat it, we need the help of the communities that we work within. People like David are key to tackling that problem. Without their help, it will be a difficult problem to solve, but by working together, we should be able to do it.
So it's an issue for both the police and the community, and obviously people gathering evidence like that does help your job. And
it's invaluable. CCTV footage especially is absolutely excellent evidence when it comes to the matter.
OK, thanks very much, Andy and David. Hope you don't have any more problems in the near future. So that's the situation here in Manchester. Back to you two.
Dave, thank you very much.
A quick update for you now. Some information on that blue Honda motorbike, the Hornet 600cc T-Reg that we were appealing for in the firearms incident in Manchester. We've also had some information on the possible offenders, including an address for one of them. So that is sounding very, very encouraging, obviously passed on to the police. And we've also got more information on those specialist riding saddles and where they might be sold from that Bolton riding school I was live from yesterday.
Well, we're here with Crimewatch Roadshow every weekday morning for the whole of June. And Monday,
I will be live from Cardiff, where police are bashing down doors looking for cannabis farms.
More on that story on Monday's Crimewatch Roadshow. Keep calling us, though. The lines are open all day. Join us Monday, 9:15. For now, though, bye-bye.